From the author of Minstrel, a strange and unusual romance and spellbound, a darker shade of black comes the legendary Magic Children. Pick up the conclusion of the Minstrel trilogy in paperback and e-readers this Halloween. In a previous video, I broke down why ABC's new sitcom, The Mayor, is a minstrel show. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the history of black politics in sitcoms and how ABC's The Mayor is a complete affront to black men and the image of black men. And when you see the context of these sitcoms and how they presented blacks and politics in a comedic episode, you will understand why this Mayor is a minstrel show. Now, the first show that I ever experienced somebody talking about blacks and politics on a sitcom was back in the mid-1980s when I was watching What's Happening on Channel 5. Now, What's Happening was a show that came on in the 1970s, and it was a show based on Cooley High, the movie. Now, on this episode of What's Happening, it featured Roger's friend, Dwayne. And Roger's friend, Dwayne, had his father, he was working with his father on his campaign for city councilman in Los Angeles. And as I watched that episode, it presented two positive things to me regarding black men in politics. One, Dwayne had his father in his life, so he had a relationship with his father. And they showed that this boy had a relationship with his father, and his father was in the home. Two, they showed that this man was running for city council, and that Dwayne and his friends were working on the campaign with Dwayne's father. So in this episode, which was set during the height of the stereotype period for black sitcoms and near the height of the blaxploitation era, here we have an episode featuring a black man interacting with his father and has his father in his life, and they're working on a political campaign for city council. And then we had another sitcom back in the 1970s called Benson. Now, Benson was a spin-off of the satire called Soap. And on Soap, Benson was a butler. However, on Benson was a budget director. And Benson started out as a very strong and positive black man on this Benson sitcom. And on this Benson show, we saw this Benson character having to deal with racism from Krause, the maid, and Clayton Endicott III, one of the governor's assistants. And Benson handled everything with grace and dignity, and eventually he worked his way up to becoming the lieutenant governor of the state he was in, and later on, towards the end of the series, wound up running for governor himself. Now, the finale was a cliffhanger on Benson, and we didn't know if Benson had won, but it's hinted that Benson was the first black governor of the state that he was in. And if we can have on Benson a positive image of an African-American man, a black man who ran and dealt with racism in the governor's cabinet, then why couldn't we have this on The Mayor? Because Benson was broadcast on ABC, the same network that produces The Mayor right now. And it's sad that over 30 years ago, we could get a positive image of an African-American man on Benson, but we couldn't get one on this Mayor show. And it's even sadder that 40 years before that, we got an image of a black man with his father on What's Happening. So I look at the timeline for these sitcoms, and they show me that it is possible to create a sitcom featuring politics and presenting a positive image of black men, black masculinity, and black manhood. Now, a third example I saw of this was in the 1990s sitcom A Different World. And in A Different World, they had a story where Whitley had broken up with Dwayne Wayne and was getting involved with this senator, Byron Douglas. And all throughout that show, they showed us a highly intelligent, highly capable black man who was engaged to Whitley and having a relationship with Whitley and was running for senator. And on one episode, they talked about him having to use negative tactics, and he refused to use negative tactics. And even in the finale, in the face of having Dwayne take Whitley from him at his own wedding, this Byron character handled it with grace and dignity. So it is proven to me that it is possible to create sitcoms which feature positive images of black men in a political theme and on a political story. But this ABC sitcom, The Mayor, doesn't want to do this because ABC's The Mayor is designed to be a minstrel show. And it's designed to be a minstrel show that degrades the image of black men and degrades black masculinity. And it insults black men by presenting us with an ignorant, buck dancing, bojangling, tap dancing, shoe shining minstrel that would be fitting perfectly on an era of an Amos and Andy episode. Because as I watched the first scenes of this show, where this black male is talking to a pair of sneakers, I had to say to myself, this is a certified minstrel show. And as this show went on, he was standing there in a pair of sagging pants and a t-shirt at a debate. They were sending a message to everyone that this black man is not intelligent, this black man doesn't know how to do anything, and that this black man is so stupid that he dresses and acts just like a child. Because you had David Spade standing there in a suit, you had the white girl standing there in a suit, but you have this black male who says he's running for mayor, and he's got on sagging pants, a ball cap, and a t-shirt and a jacket, dressed like he's getting ready to go out into the street, not present himself as someone who is ready to do business. This image was meant to show us that your black male is someone that we can't take seriously because he doesn't take himself seriously. This image that was in that debate was a complete slap in the face to black men, because if you look at how I'm dressed right now, I'm dressed very professionally and I'm speaking to you very intelligently. Why couldn't they have put that image in the Mayor and then used that with some political themed jokes? No, they didn't want to do that because they wanted to present a minstrel image of an African American man and make fun of how stupid this black man is and how dumb he is that he doesn't even know how to dress for a political debate, and he doesn't know how to present himself in a professional manner in a situation where he needs to be taken seriously. Now, as this Mayor sitcom continued, there were other things they did to insult the intelligence of people regarding the image of black men. And one of the things that they did towards the end of this episode, which was the most insulting thing regarding black men, was when they said, the white girl says to the guy, Courtney, you know, a mayor has a term of 4 years. And he's sitting there with a dumbfounded look on his face saying, 4 years. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, anyone who went to elementary school knows that a mayor has a 4-year term. Anyone who takes basic social studies in 4th grade knows mayors have 4-year terms. This is something I learned even before the 4th grade when Ed Koch was running for mayor. This was something my elementary school teacher taught me during the election of Ed Koch, I think in about, 1984 or 85, something. One time, I was at CES 132, but it was in the 1980s, and they taught us that mayors have terms of 4 years. So they're saying that this grown man does not have the intelligence of someone of a 4th grader. That's what they are saying in that scene. It was a complete slap in the face to black men and an insult to the intelligence of black men. Many educated, capable, responsible black men are out there, and they could run for office, and they would know that the term of a mayor is 4 years. But on this show, they show us an ignorant Negro who sits there and doesn't even know the term of a mayor, and he's running for mayor, and he doesn't even know about the process for being a mayor. He sits there and says he's running for mayor so he can get exposure for his rap album, but he doesn't even know the 3 branches of government, which is something, again, a 4th grader would know. Now, the 3 branches of government are the executive branch, which is the one that signs laws and enforces laws, the legislative branch, which creates laws, and a judicial branch, which interprets laws. And it's sad to see that they present a black man on this sitcom who does not even know what the three branches of government are, yet he's going to be running for mayor. And his reasons for running for mayor are some of the most pathetic I have ever seen. That's why I call this show a minstrel show on the level of Amos and Andy, because it really is an insult to black men in saying that we're so stupid we don't even know anything about politics. And for them to say that, again, is an insult to all the black men out there saying we don't know anything about politics and that we're so stupid we would run for a political office and not even know what the role of that office is, the terms of that office are, or the conditions regarding that office. This Courtney character knew he needed 200 signatures to run for mayor, but he didn't even know anything about campaigning, nor did he know anything about the process of being a mayor. And this is really insulting because this is something a guy in fourth grade would know. And what's really even more insulting are the stereotypes they compile on this character, saying that he is the son of a teen mother and he comes from a single mother household. Well, the character in Dope came from a single mother household and he grew up in poverty. Yet in the movie Dope by Rick Famuyiwa, they showed us a young black male who was highly intelligent, who was into comic books and manga and sci-fi, and a young man who was aspiring to go to Harvard. And he had to fight to find a way to get into Harvard by overcoming not only the obstacles in the street, but the obstacle from the guy in the check cashing store who was trying to get him caught up in the dope game. So the character in Dope showed us that there are intelligent, capable black men out there who come from single mother households. So there is no excuse for what was presented to us in this mayor show. Everything in this mayor show, again, was a minstrel show set in the 21st century. You had a buck dancing, bojangling, chicken eating Shine on this show, talking about he's the mayor, and then you have the white girl who's set there to show us how stupid this black male is, that he doesn't even know how to run his own municipality, and that she's going to help him run the municipality. And that's an insult to this black man, because the people who she got to help him run the municipality were white people who were dumber than he is. Again, a passive-aggressive jab that this black man is so stupid that he can't even pick his own cabinet and doesn't even know how to run his own municipality or the policies of his own municipality. Another insult they put into that episode, again, related to the police department. Now, your mayor, as the executive branch, runs the police department. He's the guy who makes sure that the police department is under control because he is the executive branch and he is the head chief law enforcer. So the police commissioner answers to him. And if he's having an event, you would think, again, he would have cleared this with his police chief or his police commissioner, and they just wouldn't be rolling up. Again, another insult when you see two black male officers coming to an event hosted by your own mayor, and they don't even know his event is going on. That was another insult to say that this black man is so dumb, and that these black men are so dumb that they don't even know that their mayor is hosting an event. It was basically saying, again, these black men are stupid. The entire episode was saying black men are stupid, black men are dumb, black men are idiots, and that your black man, if you give him power, will run himself into the ground. That's all this mayor sitcom is trying to say in between the lines of its so-called comedy. And if this is comedy, this is a very sad state of affairs regarding black men, because it shows how weak we are as a collective. Because when this mayor show aired, all black men took an L when this show ended its episode at 10 o'clock. Because for us to just sit there and take this, that shows how weak black men are as a collective. Because this show is an affront to black men. It tarnishes the image of black men, and it makes a complete mockery of black men. Yet black men aren't really upset about it, and black men aren't galvanizing about it the way they are regarding your Colin Kaepernick, who's sitting there talking about taking a knee. No, we need to start standing up to companies like Disney and say that you're not going to disrespect us as black men, you're not going to insult us as black men, and you're not going to present a negative image of us as black men on your television show when you have a black female as your president of your ABC. Now, I look at that whole black female being the president of ABC and letting this show go by, again, as another insult to black men, because for her to give this show a pass shows how deeply ingrained her mind is with white supremacy. For her to let this show go on the air and slap black men in the face shows me that she truly is a sellout, and I could see that with the show she put on, Scandal. But this mayor, this was a complete expression of contempt towards black men and a complete insult to the image of black men and the image of black masculinity, because I look at this show, which presents us with a grown man who was dressed like a child, talking about running for mayor, going to a debate dressed like a child, not presenting an articulate argument, not presenting himself in a professional manner, and not presenting himself in a way that shows he's aware of the issues in his community. That shows me that ABC's black female president is all about promoting white supremacy and promoting the image of a black man as a minstrel, because that's all this mayor show basically is it's a minstrel show designed to make mockery of black men and present black men as someone who is there to be laughed at and not situations we're supposed to laugh with regarding things. And this show is a complete insult and affront to black men, especially when you take it within the context of shows presented during the height of the blaxploitation stereotype era, which went out of their way to present us with intelligent images of black men, and other shows like A Different World and many other black sitcoms which went out of their way to present us with articulate, well-spoken, intelligent black men. This whole mayor show is a big middle finger in the face of black men, and I say it's time for black men to get up and stand up and make a statement to Disney and ABC saying that they will take their respect and they will not be disrespected by this network or regarding the content they produce. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you'd like to try some of my SJS Direct publications, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.